Good morning.
Yes, I just want to ask you, first and foremost, will you confirm to the people of our state, is it true that you do intend to make yourself available to serve this state in the capacity of the chief executive officer of the state as a governor of this great wonderful state? Will you confirm that this month?
Of course, it's a generally known fact to everybody now that their son, Bayo Adelabu, is ready to serve the people of Oyo State. I think it's all over town. It's no longer a secret. I already left my job, and which is a show of my readiness and preparation to give it all that it takes.
Thank you so much for confirming that. It could be general public knowledge, but for us here at the Southwest Political Headquarters, it's official. We have you on tape. You've confirmed that. I want to ask, again, you're a highly successful individual, young, and could you tell the people of your state what exactly is motivating you? What do you want to offer yourself for service? As the Chief Executive Officer of Oyo State, what is motivating you?
Thank you so much, Isaac, for that question. A lot of people have asked me these questions in the past, and my explanations are so direct. There are just three reasons why I want to give myself out to serve the people of Oyo State and contribute my own quota to the development and transformation of our state as a mark of continuation from where the incumbent governor is going to drop the baton in 2019. My first reason, I would say, is somewhat selfish because this is where I was born. This is my state. I don't have any other place. And it's been my age-long intention to retire back to this state as soon as I leave active employment. When in my retirement, I want to see myself living in an environment that is comparable to what obtains not only in Lagos, but big cities all over the world. Talk about London in the UK, about Dubai in UAE, and every other place that are our targets for holiday and tourism. We can create our own heavens in Oyo State. So I'd always wanted to do my own part to contribute to the growth and development of my state. And going to CBN, again, has also opened my eyes to a lot of things that we can do that will help us lift the state forward. The second reason is emotional. Sincerely, it's a continuation of our family legacy. We have an heritage in my family that is known for grassroots politics, that is known for good governance, and that is known for the love of people, intellectual governance, which is symbolized by my late grandfather, Alhaji Badamusi Udola Kande Adelabu, known as Penkelemesi. I think the man, the legacy has to be renewed. He died about 60 years ago, and a lot of us living today, we were not around when he lived. Those that were around were still very young. My intention is to say that if you don't meet Adelabu of the 40s or the 50s, here we are, and we are seeing Adelabu of 2019. That is the chip of the whole block. So I want to continue in that family tradition to give our people the best of governance. And the last reason, sincerely, is generic, which I believe it will serve an incentive to decent young professionals to also participate in the governance of our country. Because this is our own. We don't have any other place. If I come here and I become successful, which I know I will be by God's grace, it will serve as an incentive and encouragement to other professionals like me that have garnered experience all over the world with very sound academic qualification to make sure that they contribute to the development of their fatherland. It is garbage in, garbage out. The quality of life we live is determined by the quality of people that are in governance. And governance, or government generally, determines our standard of living and the quality of life that we live. We cannot continue to shun politics and governance. That's why I'm into the race. Thank you.
If you just join us, Chief Adelabu did resign from your job as Deputy Director CBN. Is that
Deputy Governor?
Deputy Governor CBN, right? That's correct, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, something just struck me. I listened to the encomiums poured on you, at the valedictory, where you left. And I want you to take a listen. Then when we come back, I have some couple of questions. Let's first go to Emefiele. This is what he has to say concerning your efforts while you were in the system. Especially the people in charge of CCI. This is what they have to say concerning you. Listening to those excerpts. At the national level, your last employer never wanted you to leave. They even spoke about the fact that the president too had reservation. But of course, if you're going to serve your people at a higher capacity, why not? If not? And that is why my next question to you is this. Looking at, you've been going around, your supporters, the people you've been meeting, and these leaders eulogizing you greatly. Can you tell us this morning your decision to offer yourself to serve as the governor of Oyo State? Is it sacrosanct? Is it irreversible?
Thank you very much, Isaac. I once again want to thank my former boss, the governor of the Central Bank, Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, for those nice comments. And my dear Egbon, the president of CCI, Chief Yemi Sholado, for those nice words about me. Of course, they were factual, not that they said. The question you asked sincerely to me is quite surprising. I know that great achievement in this world require a lot of great sacrifices. And one of those sacrifices which I have engaged myself in was to drop my job at the Central Bank of Nigeria. I have 6 years more to go. But because of the importance and the passion I have for governance of my state, for my contribution to the development of the state, and to continue the good work of the incumbent governor, Abiola Ajimobi, I had to make a sacrifice. I don't deserve pity or sympathy from anybody. My decision is irreversible. It was an age-long ambition and aspiration for me to continue in my family legacy and be able to be remembered for what I've done while alive. Today, I keep telling people that if I ask you who was the richest man in the 70s, in the 80s, in the 90s, probably you won't be able to remember anybody. You're only known as a rich man when you're alive. But for those that were not so rich, but they gave themselves to the service of humanity, like the likes of Awolowo, Azikwe, Adelabu, you don't need to crack your brain before you remember those people. So it's not about wealth, it's not about money. Once you are comfortable, you have to feed your family. Our needs are actually very limited if we want to be sincere with ourselves. It's our wants that are unlimited. And that is what pushes people not to be able to do what their passion is. I left my job at Central Bank of Nigeria, not because I didn't need money any longer, but I believe more in giving that sacrifice to ensure that I'm able to contest for this election. I'm a professional. I could have easily delayed my resignation and wait for, am I going to be successful? Am I going to win or not? But I did not do that. I had to quit a job for me to aspire for another one. You cannot be a serving public officer and still be going around politicking. It's quite unprofessional, it's unethical, and it doesn't really show the kind of determination that you have. For you to give it all that it takes, you have to drop the one that you held it for now. That is why I left my job. And I know that I will not regret this. With God behind me and beside me, I'm going to succeed. So my decision still stands. It's sacrosanct. It is irreversible.
And which leads me to my next question. Before you can become the governor of your state, you are in APC. You have to first secure the ticket of APC and to offer yourself for the general election. Chief Adelabu, I asked you this morning, if your decision is irreversible, if you do not get APC ticket, will you still offer yourself for the governorship election in 2019 in Oyo State? If your decision is irreversible, if you do not get APC ticket, will you still go ahead based on what the supporters are saying, based on what the people want, to still offer yourself, irrespective if you don't get ticket of APC?
Thanks so much, Isaac. Let me tell you that I'm a highly optimistic person, and I weigh my options before I take my decisions. I don't even think of any other option. There's no plan B. APC today is the only party in Oyo State, is the only party that can guarantee victory at election. It's the only party that's proven to people that governance has changed. That governance is now about economic welfare of the people, transformation of the state.
If you don't get their ticket, that's what I'm asking you.
I am very, very sure I'm going to get the ticket of APC. That is what I'm basing my decisions on. There's even no consideration of not being able to get the ticket of APC. We're talking of Adelabu. We're talking
so
of
for your APC, for your APC, it is Adelabu or nothing, right?
Oyo State APC knows the value of these aspirants, and I believe that it will not escape their hands.
And you have told them this morning your decision is irreversible.
It's irreversible.
Okay, thank you. That point is well established. I just want to ask you, somebody sent this to me and said, I must ask you. My name is Isaac Brown. I'm a Christian. What's your faith? Are you a Muslim? Are you a Christian?
I'm a Muslim. I mean, we all know Adelabu, and you all know my name as Abdulwahid Bayo Adelabu. I'm a Muslim.
You've been very successful in your businesses, and critics have said, what is the connection between you and the people that you are looking forward to? The grassroots people who are going to vote. They are massive. They are many. And people have said the kind of businesses you run, the kind of businesses you have set up, seem to be for the elite. Your business complex. Can ordinary folks even go in there? Agreed, of course, you have businesses, you employ people, you add value to states, you pay taxes. But it's like they said, oh, anything I achieve Adelabu, I taste. But when it comes to election, can ordinary folks even step into some of your business complexes? Will you use this money to let us know what we probably don't know about what we've been doing? Maybe you have stuffs that the Talakavas also have access to.
Thank you very much. Let me first restate the fact that the name Adelabu Penkelemesi is synonymous to grassroots politics. That was the father of grassroots politics. Anywhere you hear Adelabu, everybody associates with it. All classes of people, especially the Talakawas like you have put there. I mean, the people at the low ebb.
But your own business is
coming to that.
It's for
people at the low ebb of our society.
How many people can enter your
love Adelabu so much. Now, let me use this opportunity, like you have asked, to intimate the people of my dear state about the kind of business I do, apart from my official work at the CBN, at Central Bank, at Standard Chartered Bank, and First Atlantic Bank, including PricewaterhouseCoopers, where I trade. I'm into 3 types of businesses, and these businesses were carefully picked and selected. It cuts across all the classes in society. The number 1 business I do is in real estate, which is building, sale, and letting of houses. I started these businesses over 15 years ago. And go and look at the kind of businesses I do in this sector. It's available for everybody. I have hundreds of tenants who are able to even afford my houses.
They pay cheap.
Your rents, my rents are cheaper than the general rates.
So we don't even know, right?
You can ask the agents that handle this for me. In any environment you have my property, go and check out your rent. It's always cheaper because there are 2 motives. Fine, there's a profit motive as a businessman, but there's a social motive too, which we need to support our people to live a good life, to live a decent life. That is why I bring my rent down below the general market rates. Go and check that out. Even including my office and shopping complex. They are quite cheaper than their peers around. And this is also to afford our people decent and affordable accommodation, both residential and office and commercial. Number 2 business I do is in tourism. I can tell you that tourism contributes a lot to any country, any state's economy. Dubai today, they don't have anything significant that they are producing, other than being able to attract tourists to their country. And you can go and find out how much of money they need from tourism. And the basis of tourism to start with is hospitality, which is hotels. Go and check out all my hotels in Ibadan. I'm telling you, it cuts across all categories of people. We have ones for those in the lowest end of society. We have the middle class and we have the high end. You can check that out. I have a 4-star hotel, which is Best Western Plus for the high end. I have base one place for the middle class. I have base one executive at Oriole for the people at the lower head.
So
you can be as low
as
as 8,000 naira. You come into your state, you have a place to stay that is conducive, that is secure, and that is very, very interesting to you. Number 2. And number 3, my third reason you may not know is in agriculture and farming. I've got farms across the state. Adelabu farm and livestock. Everybody eats food. So tell me, which of the businesses are reserved for the affluent? And I can tell you that in all these businesses, which I started over 12 years ago, I employ about 560 people who I pay salary to on a monthly basis, and I've not owed a single month salary. This is the way I've contributed to the economy of this state. If I can do this in my personal capacity, you can always imagine what I can use the entire resources of this state to achieve. I believe in teaching people how to fish, not to give fish to people. Our people must be productive. They must be able to wake up in the morning and have a place to go to ensure that they're able to secure their daily living. Instead of going around and becoming a ricer and all this other. Just provide just for the people. Our people are not lazy. They're ready to work and make a living for themselves. So my businesses are fully associated with the Kanawas. Beyond profitable business or commercial business in your state, you know about my foundation, Bayo Adelabu Foundation. The proceeds from these businesses are also invested in my foundation to ensure that the less privileged in society are even taken care of, free of charge. We assist people in their education. We assist people to pay health services, health charges. We also assist people who are less privileged, the orphans, the widows, the physically handicapped. We also engage in youth rehabilitation. These are what I will use profit from my business to achieve. What do I eat as an individual or as a family? My needs are limited and restricted. But the profit you are making is also being poured back or returned into the society to ensure the less privileged are taken care of.
So you are for everybody?
Everybody. Adelabu is for everybody, I can say that.
Governor Abiola Ajumobi tapped you to head the Security Trust Fund, right? In the state. Yes, and 2 quick questions there. Number 1, you were attacked when you were on the campaign trail. What does that tell us about the state of security of the state? If you, the big man on top of the security ladder, got attacked.
Let me use the opportunity to also thank my father, our leader, and the governor of the state, Senator Abiola Ajumobi, for counting me worthy to head the number 1 function of the state government, which is security, as the chairman of the State Security Trust Fund. Thank him for that. The question you asked, let me clear this fact. I was not attacked.
Your convoy was?
Let me clarify this. I was not attacked. That is one of the reasons why I also want to go into governance. In our society, you still find a number of lazy people around whose business is to beg for money. Whether they have worked for you or they have not worked for you. In as much as we need to help our brothers, give them money and counsel them to find something to do. There are some tough and wicked ones among them that they expect you to give them 100 naira, you give them 50 naira. Instead of going and leaving you in peace, they want to attack you. So there are about 2 of our vehicles left at the venue of the rally. And the people in these vehicles did not hold money to give to them, even though we have settled all the boys around. All they did was to result into attacking them. It was just a minor fracas. It wasn't
isolated.
It wasn't as big as was exaggerated anyway. It was just about 2 vehicles attacked, and it wasn't really serious. I can tell you that the boys even came back to my foundation, or that's my campaign office, to apologize for their rude behavior. They came back to apologize for that.
Which lead me to this.
And let me also clarify that.
Okay.
We have gone to almost 9 local governments now.
Without any incident?
Without any incident. That was just an isolated case. I don't think it should be taken seriously.
My next question is very important, and the people of our state are interested the way you answer this question. As we speak now in this state, the current administration under Governor Ajumobi has just asked organization, companies, including our own FreshFM, to contribute to what they call security fund tax. Now the question is this: if a government, and it's cut across Nigeria, state governors collect security votes, these security votes have the spending nobody knows. Those security votes have never been audited. When those governors are now asking companies to make available fund for security, any sane mind will ask questions. Will Chief Bayo, Adelabu, Penkelemesi, if you become the governor of your state, will you go down in history as the first governor who will be open to the people? Oh, this month I got 145 million naira for security votes. Because you're a banker, this is the audit. I gave 5 million to Alpha. I gave 10 million to pastors. I gave 3 million to Ifa Babalawo. And people will become convinced when you ask them to donate money for security. It's a serious issue as we speak. Your promise.
Thank you, Isaac. Let me tell you that when I become the governor, I will not use evil because I know that I'm going to become the governor by God's grace. When I become the governor, let me tell you that as a professional, as a trained accountant, I believe so much in transparency and accountability. And that's going to be the bedrock of our administration. Let people know what you do. And I'm promising that I will do everything within the confine of the law of the country, of the regulations in the country, to let people know what they should know. We're going to have published accounts for your state government to know how we get
your security votes, how you spend it, you let us know.
Security votes is also part of the funds collected from the federal government. Apart from security votes, we have internally generated revenue. So government revenue is an addition of government federal allocation, federal government allocation, and internally generated revenue, and how all these monies are deployed, how they are spent on each of the sectors. Everybody will know. About security, but let me tell you something. Security is a very sensitive function of government. And men of the underworld, people that perpetrate all these crimes, they are always at alert to know how prepared the government is. Giving them full details about where you have strengthened, where you are putting the money, is also giving out the state. It's making it vulnerable to where these people will attack and how much preparation they also need to perpetrate their crime. As much as possible, I'm going to ensure that the public knows where this money is.
You guarantee us transparency
to the level of details that will not affect the security of the state.
Compromising the
That is
state.
what I would do.
Your second promise, Governor Adelabu, during his first term, I have it here. He declared his assets, immediately became the governor. I have all the facts here. When he made himself available in 2015 for his second coming, I interviewed him live. And I asked him, Governor Adelabu, how much is your worth now? Of course, we don't have time, but I played his response, but I can sum it up. He said, look, Mayor, I can't tell you my worth now publicly. If I tell you I want X amount, oh, the opposition will say, if I tell you it is big, they say, he has amassed so much money. But as far as he was concerned, he has done the needful. File it in with the CCB. I'm asking you again, the third promise. Chief Bayo, Adelabu, will you publicly declare your assets if you become governor of your state?
Thank you. There are two types of declaration. You have the formal official declaration of assets, the Code of Conduct Bureau, the CCB, which may not be made public, and you have a public declaration, published declaration of assets. I have discretion to do either of the two. But let me tell you that before declaring my assets, I believe more than half of the people of Oyo State know what my assets are.
I don't know. I
never eat my assets.
I don't know.
And these are assets I've acquired years back when I was in profitable employment at the private sector.
Will you declare your assets publicly?
That I will declare my assets publicly.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Let's go straight away to the one called Dari Kombi, Nigerian Tribune.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mayor. Good morning once again to our guest. It's good to have you here, sir. Sir, I know you are somebody who believes in giving people, particularly the youth, the environment to thrive and sharpen their skills and expand their horizons. And I must use this opportunity to thank you for finding me worthy to be listed as part of the journalists the CBN sponsored to cover the IMF World Bank meetings on 2 occasions, 2016, 2017 at the World Bank. Sir, some people are afraid that coming from the private sector and getting fully involved on the political turf where you cannot get free service, people will demand money. Give us money and then we'll work for you. Sir, I want to know your experience so far, because you believe in giving people an environment, which is better anyway, an environment to prosper. And there are those who believe in giving us more, let's collect money now, because we know that when politicians get to power, they won't do what they promise they will do. So let us get as much as we can from them. What is your experience and what is your view about money politics? Huh? Do you feel it's time for us to demonetize the political system in Nigeria? Thank you very much.
The rot in our politics, what you call money politics, did not start yesterday. It did start 2 days ago. It's an accumulation of our bad experience over the years. And I believe it's going to go away, but it will not fade also in one day. It's going to fade away gradually. And let me tell you something. From my little experience in politics now, I've known that if a candidate is a candidate of substance, it attracts natural followership. If the name that they believe is reliable and has track record and has displayed love for the state in so many ways before venturing into politics, it attracts its own natural followership. Of course, there are legitimate electionary expenses, campaign expenses, political expenses you cannot run away from. You work with people. Politics is about people, it's about interest, defending and protecting the interests of people. And you cannot do it alone. When you send people on an errand, you must be able to take care of them. And we're talking about a state as big, as large as your state, 28,454 square kilometers, the largest down south of Nigeria. Over 7 million people. So the politics in Oyo State is vast, and you have to send people to a lot of places. You have to go to a lot of places. You have to hire cars, buy vehicles, give people money here and there. These are legitimate expenses, which you must be ready to incur. Yeah, in terms of people asking for bribe or facilitation before they do things for you, I will never engage myself in it. Something I did not do while in private sector, I did not do while I was at the M of Affairs at the Central Bank of Nigeria. I will not start it now. It's not part of me. It's not my character. My grandfather attracted his natural followership. So, of course, I have my own already captured or captive natural followership. Whoever is associating with Bayo Adelabu for the sake of money you want to get to bribe you or to buy your vote, it will never happen. And I will never get engaged in that.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, you are running on the platform of APC. And we know the story of APC in Oyo State today, even at the national level. The party is troubled in Oyo State. You have the unity group that has gone to, how close are you to, should you emerge? Because you use when you emerge as a candidate of the party, you will need the support of this group. How close are you to them? What are you doing? How close are you to them?
Let me also allay your fear. A lot of these things are actually exaggerated. The party appeared troubled. That's the word that you used. But I'm inside. I know that the party is not troubled to the level of exaggeration that most journalists keep it. There are a lot of reconciliation going on within the party. And a lot of preponderance of people that left are now coming back, but they have seen the light. They have seen that the only party to be today in Nigeria is APC. They were aggrieved. Fact. Politics is about protection of your personal and general interest. If your interests are not being protected, it's your right to speak out and to be aggrieved. But that's why reconciliation is necessary. And our leader has set up a very, very hardworking and aggressive reconciliation committee that has actually brought back a lot of these aggrieved parties. Today, there are just very few people out there that are not part of APC. And I believe that before we start the general election, they are all going to come back.
Two quick ones, sir. You are from Ibadan, and your name rings bells everywhere, even outside Ibadan. There is this belief among many Ibadan people that Bayo Adelabu would rather love to see you as a CBN governor than see you or than have you as a governor this time. They believe that you are still relatively young, that you still have time ahead of you during which you can prepare yourself for the governorship race in the future, but that you actually make great impact on the Nigerian economy if you actually emerge as the CBN governor. Do you share this? Would you like to shed light on this belief that a lot of people, particularly in Ibadan, hold, before I go to my next question?
Thank you. I want to thank my people for wishing me well. But let me tell you that our leader, our governor, I usually say one thing, that a good leader takes his people to where they want to be. But a great leader takes his people to where they ought to be. They might think that being Central Bank of Nigeria governor, which I was close to being, would be the best option for them. But from the benefit of being an insider and my capability, my passion, and what I can do, I believe that they benefit more being at the aim of affairs of this state. Coming from Central Bank of Nigeria, coming from the private sector, all the experiences I've garnered, I believe replicating them in Oyo State will benefit my people more. While I was at Central Bank of Nigeria, of course, I was able to bring things to this state that benefit the people of the state. I was able to employ citizens of this state, residents and indigenous. I was also able to do a lot of things that benefited them. But that is just a very little thing which they see as being big. To me, I can do more. It's just a tip of the iceberg. I believe that if I'm number one citizen in this state, I can do a lot more that will benefit the citizens and residents of this state more than being the Central Bank of Nigeria governor. It is true that to benefit the larger economy of the federal government, but we are talking of our own home state. This is just one state out of 36 and FCT. Deploying what I've acquired over the years to the state, to manage the resources of this state, to bring out the economic potentials of this state, and to improve the economic prosperity of the citizens of this state will benefit them more than remaining in Abuja and help just a few people. It's going to be for the generality of the masses, being the governor of the state.
All right. You have already confirmed that you belong to the mainstream APC, not RAPC. And you actually said that you hope to take over from Ajimobi and sustain the good work that he's doing. Within the week, a major opposition leader, Engineer Seyi Makinde, made a release where he took those of you wanting to continue with the legacy of Ajimobi to the cleaners. For him, Ajimobi stands for negative, nothing positive. So if anybody is coming out on the strength that he wants to continue with the good job of Ajimobi, that means that person is actually planning to inflict more pains on the people of Oyo State. Do you share that belief?
Let me just say a note of caution here. Campaign has not yet started, but I make bold to say that no opposition will see anything good in any incumbent government. That is a fact. I want to tell you that what Governor Ajimobi has achieved for us in this Oyo State, we have never seen such in the history of democracy in Oyo State. I can tell you, is this security that you want to start talking about? We knew what this state was 7 years ago. Politics was not attractive to people like us. We won't even venture into it. Even though I've had my ambitions since 1999, that's almost 19 years ago. I was waiting for the appropriate time to come into politics. Between 1999 and 2010, I never saw it right because it was dangerous. hooliganism, brigandage, and a lot of vice society were the features of politics at that time. Talk about social infrastructures. Is it the roads, the quality of road that we see around now I want to talk about, which is comparable to what you see overseas? Compare it to what we've had from from previous governments. This is superior. Is it the restructuring in education, the reform that we have seen in education, which I'm part of as chairman of the Governing Council of Lagelu Grammar School? Is it the reform that we have seen in the health sector?
And the reform was still in LAUTECH.
Is it? I'm coming to that.
I'm just asking. I said reform.
Is it what we have seen in improvement of the economy of the state, in terms of tourism, in terms of nightlife, in terms of improvement in people's businesses? All these are good things that Governor Ajimobi is known for, and will go down in history as a governor that has brought all this and has also attracted the kind of talents and professionals that will see vie for the position of governorship today in Oyo State. You can only improve on what he has done. I can tell you that. Governor Ajimobi sincerely is the architect of modern Oyo State. I can tell you that. What am I doing in politics, if not for the likes of Governor Ajimobi, that has made it attractive to someone like me? So anybody will come into governance and do his bit. We will just build on what he has done. But foundation is the most difficult in any structure you are building, be it fiscal structure or governance. Governor Ajimobi is laying the foundation for everybody, and we're going to build on this foundation, and you start seeing even the impact of what he has done. Tinubu did it in Lagos between 1999 and 2007. That's what Fashola built upon. That's what Ambode built upon. Now you are crediting Ambode, you are crediting Fashola. What about Tinubu that started it? So anybody that says Governor Ajimobi's performance is not commendable, sincerely needs his head to be examined sincerely, or be given a set of glasses to see the good things that Governor Ajimobi has done. The facts speak for itself. These things are on ground. They are quite visible.
Senator Fatai Buhari, distinguished
Adelabu, Penkelemesi. Sir, some of us who conduct investigative journalism have gone beyond looking at what the paper writes or what we write on daily basis. So scrutinize some of the high flyers, the potential leaders of our state come 2019, especially the office of the governor. I remember I did a research recently about some of your staffers in your hospitality industry, agriculture, and tourism. And I found out that I want you on tape this morning. I found out that a number of them told me that in terms of salaries, their welfare, you are taking good care of them, that being paid as at when due, and that even given them 13-month salary. I want you to state that for us. Workers in our state today, if you get there, you pay your workers 13-month salary when you get to that office. That's number one.
Or will it be all about
that's number one.
Shortfall in allocation?
Yes. At the officer. Okay. That's number one. Number two has to do with the fact that we commend your initiative when you are in the CBN as a deputy governor. Let me quickly read these headlines for you. Last year, I was there live. We did stories about the Technical University in Ibadan. And the following morning, these are the stories. Ajimobi inaugurates CBN project at Technical University in Ibadan. The Nation newspaper. Governor Ajimobi inaugurates CBN project at Technical University. The News Nigeria Online. Nigerian Tribune also inaugurates Southwest First Technical University in Ibadan. And finally, Radio Nigeria Ibadan said Ibadan Technical University Oyo inaugurates CBN intervention project. Now today, we have issues with that university. Number of the students seeking admission into that university could not do so because the school fees is not between 100,000 naira to 1 million naira. And from what I just read out to you, I was there when the projects were being inaugurated on that day. It was CBN intervention project. All the features there today were CBN funded, fully funded by CBN, not even state government. But now we're having this issue. This university today, we cannot afford to send some of our siblings to that university. And of course, the school fees goes from 900,000 to 1 million and beyond. If you get there as your state governor, what are you going to do to assist us to get this investment back to the masses, to take the education back to what Awolowo was the in thing every day. We talk about Awolowo of glorious era, educational facilities. What are you going to do for us, sir? As far as that's the question is concerned.
Thank you very much. You just asked me two questions. The first about the welfare of my staff. I can tell you that when you bake a big cake, you have a larger share. I always tell people that let us wait, let us do everything it takes to bake the cake. Then we'll have large share of the cake. That's what I do in my businesses. Let us make the money, and it is my duty, moral, and is expected of me to pay you well and make you have decent living standards. That's how I pay my staff handsomely. I pay them more than 13 months. I pay them very handsome bonus because they work for the money. When I get to government, of course, the first thing is to concentrate on improving the economic prosperity of government. When the money is there, the first set of beneficiaries will be the workers that make this money. So let us bake a big cake, then we'll have larger share of the cake, number one. Number two, in terms of technical university, let me state categorically here that while in CBN, I used my position to benefit the state in a lot of areas. We just mentioned one, which is the technical university that I brought into, or just in terms of funding the foundation building, the facilities at the technical university. The technical university has a plan, a bigger plan, and beyond what CBN has donated as their contribution, the state government is still going to do more. They're going to build a lot more buildings and facilities to make it a state-of-the-art university, comparable to any of its peers across the globe. And beyond putting the facilities in place, there are running costs for a university. While I will not sit here to defend the fees being charged by the Oyo State government for reasons obviously known to the government, I see it as a good feedback in terms of the way people see how much the university charge. And this will be useful to the government to moderate the charges to enable more people to gain, be able to afford to gain admission to the university. But let me tell you that we have few students now, and the cost of running university is shared over the few students. As the population of the students grow and the facilities and the staffing remain the same, the student will be able to pay lower fees. If you employ a teacher to teach 10 students, they all contribute money to pay this teacher's salary. What they will contribute will be different from when you have 30 students in the classroom. So the average cost per head is going to go down. And I'm very sure the benevolent Ajimobi that I know will do something about this as a feedback. Thank you very much.
If you're just joining us, this is first anniversary of